Hi, welcome. Welcome to Ask the Teacher. So nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Veronica Steele, and I'm your teacher. Ask the Teacher is a Q&A platform where you, the parent, can ask me, the teacher, your teacher advocate, questions about your child's early childhood development. You can post your questions by emailing them to us by clicking the link below. Also, we get our questions from Cora. I'm going to answer 3 questions today. Come on, let's go to class. All right, let's see. The first question comes from a young lady named Stephanie. Hello, Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stephanie writes in, she wants to know, let's see. Oh, wow. There's a lot of questions here. Okay, no problem. I'm sorry, but I'm only going to be able to answer 3 of them today. So, I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving as well. Happy Thanksgiving. All right. Number 1, what can I do to help my child with home learning or e-learning or homeschooling? I know, they're all the same. If we actually go back to school, I know home learning is going to look different. Homeschooling will look different. E-learning will all look different. But remember, your goal and our goal are the same. We're a partnership. We're both trying to get your child to the next level of their early childhood developmental milestones. The level of assistance at home depends on the age of the child, of course, and try to think of it as a chart. So in school, we use a KWHL chart, which is what they know from at home environment and the environment in which they live, what they want to know and what we want to help them learn, how are they going to find it out, and of course, assessment. How are we going to be able to show the learning? So the content area for building positive relationship between the parent is so important, families. We need your support just like you need our support. We work together to help them. And remember, you want to build that bridge because children are watching you. They're watching how you interact with your teacher. They're listening to what you're saying about school and what you're saying about your teacher, and they're taking that same mentality into the classroom. So make sure you're saying positive things about their learning, how they're learning, because they'll only take school as important as you take school. So the level of assistance is basically the standards. So you want to go look for the standards in your state. I know Michigan has standards and other states have standards, and some of them are the same, but some of them are slightly different. It depends on the school that your child goes to. Is it public school? Is it charter school? Is it schools of choice? So GSRP is a state-funded program. So if your child's in a child care, there are standards that they use. There are standards GSRP uses because we also have an assessment tool, which is Teaching Strategies Go or CORE. So those are the online assessment tools that we use to help your child reach their key developmental indicators or their teaching strategies goals. It's a lot. I know it's their developmental level is all scored based on our anecdote notes that we take, or we'll ask a parent if they see something, show us what they know, because it's not just what the parents say they know. We have to be able to see it. We have to be able to assess it. So it's important for parents, and I know it can be kind of hard when we want to be so supportive that we're not doing the work for them, but kind of like doing the work for them, kind of rushing them along. So just take patience and belly breath and make sure that there's a calm environment for their learning. There is a positive environment for their learning. And if you can, set just a little space aside for them to do their learning. Because remember, our goals are the same. So we want to collaborate. So in the beginning, the teachers in early childhood will meet with the family on a home visit to develop goals for your child. So ILP goals are individual learning plans that we establish for your child and individual development plans. I know it's a lot of big words, but pretty much it just means goals for your child, attainable goals. The goals have to be developmentally appropriate for early childhood You want to make sure that if you're saying, I want my child to know the alphabet, not saying, I want my child to be able to sound out all these words, to be able to read fluently. Look at the developmental milestones for the age, because each level is different, okay? And then your teacher's there as an advocate to help support you through that and to help make sure that the goals are obtainable and they make sense for the child, okay? So just at home, keep that open communication. Remember, we're here to support you, the parent. We're working as a team. We're both trying to help them be successful on their academic journey, because, you know, they got a lot to go. They have preschool, kindergarten, first grade. You know, there's a lot of grades they got to get through. So the foundational preschool or child developmental level, child care level that they're on, you want to make sure it's positive, because that's how they'll see school. So it's really important that you take an entrance early so they can kind of see how this thing is supposed to be mapped out. Because remember, they're following you. They're going off of how you feel about school. So try to keep it positive. You guys are doing a good job, because you guys are all the teachers. We're there supporting you more so vice versa. All right, I hope I answered that question. If not, you can write in and ask me for a little bit more collaboration and a little more understanding of what you're looking for, but I hope that I answered the question. The next question, number 2, is it developmentally appropriate to establish self-directed learners in the early childhood classroom? Yes. Parents, please let them button their own coats, zip their own coats, put their own clothes on. Yes, you want self-directed learners. Again, it's a partnership. We're there to support you. You're there to support us. We're all here to support the child. If you're doing everything for them, they're not learning to be self-directed. They're not learning to be able to take care of their wants and needs, which means they're not going to be able to tell us what they want or need. They're going to expect us to know. So yes, any little thing that they can do to help themselves, whether it's pouring themselves some water in a cup, to putting their own toothpaste on their toothbrush, to putting their shoes on, that's huge. Because think about it, the teacher has 16 kids in the classroom and everybody needs shoes. So there's a lot of feet there. So there's 30 feet. So yes, definitely make sure those shoes are tied before they come to school, and help them put their own shoes on and help them be able to put their own socks on. Let them dress themselves. They're putting their shirt on backwards. It's okay. They did it. They're learning how to take care of themselves. And with that lesson, they'll be able to incorporate it into their learning. They'll understand there are limits and expectations and goals that their parent and teachers collaborate with together to help them be successful. So say a goal is for a child to be able to write their name. If they know they can put their own shirt on, they feel confident. Think about it. How would you feel if something that was hard for you, you accomplished it? Oh my goodness, this is huge. We celebrate it in early childhood because it's showing them how to be a self-directed learner. And they'll take that into the classroom. They'll take that positive attitude. Oh, I put my shoes on this morning. I can write my name. And then we use that. We use that to scaffold more learning. Oh, I saw your mom told me you put your shirt on today. Oh my goodness, you're such a big boy. You're such a big girl. Oh my goodness, I know you can write your name. Start at the top. We use that to build and to scaffold. And we definitely want to help them be self-directed learners. Again, it helps them with their social emotional development. Okay, I hope I answered that question. Oh, the curriculum. I think I mentioned a little bit about HighScope. That's what HighScope does. They use whatever the child is interested in and they build on it, expand on it, and they put it in the content areas of academics and social emotional development. All right, that's my speaker. Creative curriculum also, except for we use themes. So like a tree study to build into that social emotional learning, things they see in their environment. Building study, their home. What buildings do you see? It helps with shapes and things like that. Reggio Emilio, same thing. They use that to help the child be a self-directed learner. And that's what the principles of all those programs are. Children play to learn. So they're not just playing in the school, they're learning. So don't fret if they're playing. They are learning. They are learning what they need to learn for their developmental level. And remember, their learning is going to look different from your kindergartner. It's going to look different from your first grader. It doesn't mean they're not getting everything. The biggest thing is social emotional development. So they have to be able to tell us what they want or need. If we're talking about letters and they're looking at us, we're like, what letter is this? And we're doing it in a fun way. We're not just sitting them there, tell me the letter. Tell me the letter. No, that's not how children learn. They learn through fun. They learn and play. Think about it. What kind of lessons did you learn when you were playing hide and seek? You learn how to trust, you learn how to run, you learn how to count, you learn how to socialize, you learn how to tell them, hey, you're moving too fast, you're moving too slow. I don't like when you do that. Hey, you push me, you did. You're socializing. When you socialize, you can say what you want or need, and you get more confidence. That's what early childhood is all about, helping them build that confidence and building on it. Because the next teacher, the kindergarten teacher, even builds on that. And then now they're learning blending. They're learning sounding out words. So sounding out all the letters in the alphabet, it has to start somewhere. So it starts with us in early childhood. Hope that answers that question. All right. Oh, it allows the child to attend and engage. I forgot about that. That's really important. That's one of the KDIs, the key developmental indicators that we use. I know, fancy words. It simply means that the child is acknowledging that they're growing in their self-discovery and that they're growing in their own level of interest, and they're paying attention. They're not goofing around on the carpet like, of course, their age says they should, but they understand the importance of learning. There's a time, like I tell them, there's a time to learn and a time to play. And this is our learning time. And as long as the teacher makes it fun, the parent makes it fun, you want to be lighthearted about it because they'll get it. It just takes time. So they do play in their learning, okay? And they will use their persisting, and they will use all those skills because remember, they learn how to put their shirt on. So they're going to persist until they learn how to write that letter. And then at your conferences, you'll be able to set more goals and your home visit. Once they accomplish that, acknowledge it, celebrate it. It's a big deal. All right. I'm sorry, I only have time for one more question. What are the main differences between online learning and offline learning? And what do I prefer? I prefer both. I mean, both of them, as long as it's teacher-led, where the teacher is able to set attainable goals with the parent, I think they're both fine. But I know there are a lot of curriculum, especially since COVID is the pandemic and with COVID and schools being shut down, that some parents who do homeschool or some parents who are trying not to send their child to a GSRP or Head Start because they're focusing on their other children and they can't send them right now. But if school's open, maybe they'll send them. So they may be purchasing curriculum online. Please, parents, make sure that it is teacher-led. Let it be teacher-led, please. Because, I mean, if not, it's just like going to, I don't know, a store and grabbing a curriculum book and just helping them practice writing. I mean, that's great. I mean, good. But make sure it's developmentally appropriate. And if you have it teacher-led, she can kind of tell you these little things that I'm telling you, these little tidbits to kind of help you make sure that they're on the right track with their learning. Because sitting there and just having them write, it may be frustrating. You might get a fit. You might get a temper tantrum. We can strategize and kind of help you help them, because you can write without using a pencil. You can write without using a crayon. You can use sand on a plate, on the table. Take your pointer finger and write your name. And a child's like, oh my God, this is so much fun. It's so much fun. Learning can be fun. And that's what we try to do in school, to teach them their learning can be fun. It's not just do this, do that, don't do this. We keep it in an order. So for social emotional limits and expectations, we have rules. Be safe, be responsible, be respectful. All those academics go in there, because when they're meddling around on the couch, or if they're pushing a friend and not using their words, or they're biting or something like that, you can use those principles. Are you being safe right now? Are you being responsible right now? and then show them what it looks like. Safe is keeping your mind safe, your body safe. And there's little songs, I keep my hands to myself. I keep my hands to myself, that we sing, that you can sing, that I have a lot on my channel. So go ahead and check that out, or you can Google it. There are little things like, oh, being responsible, do what you're supposed to do, even though no one's looking, different things like that to kind of teach them what the definition is. Because remember, young children learn if it makes sense to them. So you want to do it on their developmental level. That's why I said, make sure if you're doing curriculum, make sure it's teacher-led. It's great to have them practice, but I'm sure you notice if your child is in a Great Start Readiness program or early start program, using ditto sheets, which are writing worksheets, are not developmentally appropriate. So we don't use them in school. We let their mind be open by giving them blank paper and instruction and saying, this is a tree, or reading a book about a tree, or giving them a straw and some paper, like little bitty pieces of crepe paper, and we'll show, oh, this is my tree. I wonder what you'll make. Let them think, because, children this age, the tendency to want you to think for them. So we promote cognitive development by asking open-ended questions. So you want to make sure you do that. And that's what going to preschool is about. They're getting that direction, and we're able to teach the parent how to teach their child. So I hope that helps. Online learning. So say they go to, I'm not going to say any websites because, I don't get in trouble, but say they go to an academic website where they're playing a game. They get immediate correction from that, because if they get it wrong, the computer generates different questions to help them get that right. So they learn through that as well. Allows a student to self-correct their thinking. So I like online learning in that fashion, because in the classroom, they get that too. So if they're writing, say we're doing a journal and they're writing their plan for the day, it's usually like drawing. You'll draw the block area, the art area, where do you want to play, what you want to do over there. And they'll say, I want to go to the art area. And then they'll take their little clip and put it in the art area. But instead of going to the art area, they'll walk to the block area. And we're like, you're in the block area. You said you want to go to the art area. So the block area is for building, and the art area is for drawing and coloring and painting. Where did you want to play? So it kind of helps them self-reflect like that as well. I hope I answered that question. Let me just read it again. The main differences between offline learning and in-person learning. So that's what it is. It's more student-led. The online learning, that's why we do it in school, because they do have computer games that they do play, so they can get that generated self-direction to get them back on task, and they do get it in the classroom. I like I said, I like both. Just make sure that there's a teacher involved, that it's teacher-led, because in the classroom if we're talking about a tree study where they're learning shapes, colors, numbers, texture, the environment is in an evergreen tree, which means it's always green. Sorry, is it a deciduous tree, which means it changes colors. What other colors and things like that? They're learning about pine trees. They're learning about structure. They're learning how the world works. They're learning about seasons. They're learning all these things, which is great. But I'm sorry, the Bluetooth is going off.
Connected.
I kind of lost my train of thought, but that learning, sorry, I got it. So we put that learning that we're doing a tree study on the computer. So it's not like random stuff. So like your numbers and your letters, if we're talking about the letter G or the letter T for tree, we're doing a game about that on the computer. So like I said, a lot of parents don't know to do that. They're just boom, 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 learn this, and it's so much and it overwhelms the child that's why I said do teacher-led. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta go. But thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you. I'm going to see you at our next On the Teacher. Remember, you can send your questions to Quora or you can send us an email and I'll put those links below. All right, signing off. Have a good day. Bye-bye.